Bam! And we are live. Good evening, everybody. It's still the 20th. It is 9:30 p.m. here, Pacific Coast Time, Pacific Daylight Savings Time. Welcome back, everybody. It is on with the show here. Let me make sure I'm getting out on the other side here. I believe that I am. We'll let things propagate for a minute. Let me put this over here. And bam. How you doing, Dateline? What's going on? All right. I think that's going to be okay. Let me set this thing here. Friday night. Let's get down to case. We're back. Yeah, there's no strikes. Don't get all excited, okay? YouTube doesn't strike you for... It's not struck, Missy. It's not struck. Okay, there's no strikes on the channel. Didn't you get the latest thing from YouTube? Says we're not able to review things, so we're just gonna. It'll be an automated system, and you can appeal it, which I did. And there's no. They're not giving out strikes. They can't. A human being is not there. To look around. Nobody flagged it. Nobody. Yeah, that's what the thing said. It's not. You don't get a strike. Okay. I mean, I can show you the. I can show you the channel and the community things. There's nothing on it. Yes, I am back. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube is in high gear for machine learning. It guaranteed it'll be back. The video. I pulled the cake out. And just decided to come on and hang out. It is what it is. It's a sign of the times. There's just not, they don't want. There's a lot of personnel working from home. They're stretched to the limit. There is no strike. It's if you remember the latest message from YouTube was we're not going to have human beings reviewing things. We'll remove content, but we're not going to give strikes for the content, and you can appeal it. So thank you. There was a warning algorithm on this one. Yeah, there's nothing on that. So it's fine. I can understand that. I don't need to do that. Things will settle out in the future. You got to roll with the times and what they are. But there's no thank you. There are no. You're not getting a strike for that these days because there's not anybody to review it and look at it. So, yeah, welcome back, everybody. There was no strike that was given. They just stop the content in the stream and they just say it's not available anymore. And you go read the thing and said, sorry, unfortunately, we can't review things. Our automated intelligence picked this up. Please feel free to appeal. No strike will be given on your account. I remember reading that about a week and a half ago when they sent that out in light of what's going on. They don't want all those people together at the office working together. So welcome back, everybody. Gonna have a good time. Yeah, I've never had a strike. I don't think I would ever have a strike on that. Thank you, Gypsy. That's from my girl here, My World in OKC. The cake is baked. I'll be pulling it out later and showing that. Thank you. Yeah, the devil's name Google. Well, you got to put yourself in their shoes, Spanky. They're probably stretched to the limit, and they don't want to have the personnel to do that. How you doing, Sandy? Nice to see you. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I was about to get fired up. Yeah, about to get fired up. I remember they put that letter out on the community bulletin board about a week ago telling people we don't have the personnel to review it. What the hell went down? The stream went down. It was an automated bot. Yeah, the cake is fine. I'll show the, yeah, they were one of the first corporations to send everybody up. So it's all machine learning. Normally you would have something that was picked up and then somebody would review it, but they're not having people review it right now. So it's a time of Joe Smith, it is. It's not. It doesn't result in strikes. It's just removed. What's up, dickhead? Let me get this guy. He's gone. There he is. Bye, Davey. Did you hear about the cruise ships that are now stuck at sea? No port will allow them to dock. I'm not surprised about that. We'll have a few laughs about the elbow tonight. I think D will probably be popping in here. So good to see everybody. I think it'll be a classic rant tonight. I'm going to lay out the roadmap for disaster, and if he wants to do things, I've got a whole catalog of I got a whole catalog of people that can be well checked in that crew too, with addresses, numbers, the works. So the thugs got them. Yeah. So I'm excited. Bring it on, man. Anything go night. Good evening, Dave. People, why do people say all this is scripted? It can't be. Why would you script things? Time you join a club, yeah, it's fine. We go our own ways in life, and it's just that I think it's fascinating when somebody has such a low intellectual capacity, and I've said this before, that they're unable to see. They're unable to perceive anything beyond 1 foot ahead of them. And somebody sent me the funniest screenshot today. I guess he had I don't know. I'm not subscribed. I don't watch it anymore. But I thought it was hilarious when there was some outtake that the money's going to be good for, that the money is going to be good. Well, here's the reality of things. His income will decline at least 75%. Over the coming, it'll probably be at a 75% level, then a 50% level, and then a 25% level going forward. How you doing, Mama Loves? You did your best. Yeah, I don't have any regrets. The slob has been shown and unmasked for what he is, and now the joyous consequences, boom, you're gone. YouTube stopped it. It's automated intelligence right now, PJ. They said, we're just going to stop the stream. We don't have anybody to review it. We're not going to give you a strike. And to me, that's fair. It's tough times right now. So let's see, good intent. So I'm not particularly, I'm happy. I'm very happy about the state of things, because my YouTube life will proceed exactly the way it has been for years, year after year. People have tuned in to watch entertainment, and I can't sugarcoat the fact or put lipstick on the pig, so to speak, as the expression goes, that his channel has fallen into the toilet. There's nothing that I can do about that. Nobody did it, D-Dub. The trolls didn't do anything. Why would you think the trolls did it when we all got a message from YouTube that said automated intelligence will be doing the screening from now on, and there will not be strikes given, and just push the appeal if you think that the robot took it out. And that's exactly what I did. It was all bots. There weren't trolls that did that. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So I can't help it that the guy's channel has literally fallen into the toilet. All right. It's not my design. Like I said before, it's something that you give a person a paintbrush and tell them to paint a floor. There's a certain percentage of people, maybe 3 to 5%, that will paint themselves into a corner. Okay, and that's the classic situation we have here. There's nothing left, all right, except the anger, the dealing with, which will be delightful to see, the loss of revenue, the total lack of support that will result within, I want to say by September, October, it'll be a done deal. With the nonsense, too much. Yeah, there's too much real world stuff going on YouTube. Oh, I don't. T-Bone. It's to be expected. This is the death throes of a channel. This is what a channel on the outs does. Do you really think that there's any kind of content that anybody would remotely want to watch over there? A review of a McCafe? A review of a Burger King burger? There's nothing left to show. It's like game over. Wouldn't you be pissed off? Now you have a guy that's hyper out of control in his mind, pissed off, burned every connection with family, burned every connection on YouTube, and there's literally no place to go. Literally no place to turn to. What is the alternative on YouTube? You lash out, you blow your cool, and you unveil yourself as someone who's freaking out in the case of what's going on right now. I would be too. If I had no money in the bank, if I had an inability to generate a decent amount of revenue, I'd be freaking out too. You know, it is literally a channel in decline that will continue to do so, and it will provide very, very epic entertainment. There will be some things coming back the other way now, Vicky, that will be unveiled and that will be undertaken, resulting in some real life misery. And let's just say I had all my ducks in a row when I left for Reno. You can believe that. You can believe that. With the lockdown, would the nomads do that, or in the parking lot? That's it. It's a teapot blowing out steam. It doesn't matter. Hey, Sean the Brit, how you doing? It just doesn't matter. So for those of you who thought that I got a strike, I did not. YouTube has said when it comes to content, they're not going to have human review. They're going to just remove it. They're not going to give you a strike, and you can appeal it. And I think that's a very fair way, given the situation that we are in right now. How you doing, Ann? Nice to see you. I've gone and watched all the stream. Who doesn't use toilets? They'll brag about. They have nothing to do with it. It's all swept by AI, automated intelligence. No, William Wallace. No ability. Do you know you're going to? Of course, Vicky. Of course, I'm going to be. He's gonna have a major big surprise when he rolls into Chicago. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's for sure. What are they doing? Nomad's parking lot in California lockdown. He's not in here. He's down in the Berkeley area right now, parked alongside the other nomads by he's not up in this particular area. I'm not sure what they're going down there. No, it wouldn't be breaking the law, T-Bone. All the unconditional, yes, I'm saying Opiami, but this is the beginning. This is like an opening overture in a tragic symphony. Okay, this is what you're going to be able to watch in the theater coming up as the money begins to dry up, which it will. As the interest in the channel wanes, it will be shut down. So doesn't bother me at all. It's on a perfectly predictable path with no. What would you do if you, let's put it this way, if you started YouTube 5 years ago and you've only made this amount, six years, and you've only made this amount of tiny progress in 6 years, And now all of a sudden, the house of cards caved in. And now the prospects of a 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. wake-up call become very real. Because in the new world order coming up, if you want to eat, you're going to have to be productive. It's going to be all hands on deck. Okay, so everybody will need to come in from the cold. They will need to be registered. They will need to be identified. They will need to enroll in benefits. And at that point, they will be told what their alternatives are for work details and things. It'll come. Okay, you cannot force anybody to work. You cannot force anybody to work. But you can tell people that we're not gonna feed you. We're not gonna give you any benefits. There will be a word. It doesn't matter. Johnny's boy sent. Maybe some days. That's what I'm saying. I don't wish anybody ill will, but you have to recognize the position that he is in. He does not have the intellectual capacity to understand the cataclysmic economic event that has now happened in the face of this virus. Okay, and that's the worst possible place to be in. If I tell you, how you doing, Cupcake? If I tell you absolutely that YouTube income is going to, and AdSense is going to decline at an incredible rate, you can believe it. You can believe it. How you do exactly, Lisa? We all know that. AdSense is going, it's going to be an unprecedented contraction. Ford, GM, Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, Infiniti, they're not going to be out there humping cars, okay? The appetite for that is virtually zero at this moment in time. Cruises, vacations, getaways, all the typical stuff that YouTube promotes on here. Okay? Marketing is done. Marketing is done. You have a different world now. You have a world that is going to be experiencing 20+% unemployment coming up. There is a chance, statistical chance, that this could end up being more earth-shaking than the Great Depression coming up. Yeah, I hope so, because Cobra John's a nice guy. Things will get better for him. We're living in a totally different America. 2 weeks ago, there were people that were willing to throw some money here and there. A year ago, 6 months ago, the window's shut. How you doing, Yilva? The window's shut. Slam shut. There's some truckers that give now because it's a great time to be in trucking. In 6 months, the engines of trucks will be cold. The demand for items in America will slow dramatically. Thousands of trucks will become idled. And people that frittered away their assets supporting a non-working, non-contributing human being will rue the day that they did so. You will have a tremendous contraction in everything from high-grade beef to automobiles going down the road carried by truckers, other freight, TVs, stereos, computers. I made the pecan cake tonight. They still have to eat, of course they do. But think of what else truckers carry. They carry non-necessities. They stock up your Walmarts and your Best Buys with tablets and computers and 60-inch screens, TVs. They bring prime grade A meats, bags of coffee, high-end coffees for Starbucks and other coffee places. You don't have to be a genius to really see what contraction means. And nobody alive today has really seen a contraction that unfolds this fast and of this magnitude. So to me, thank you, Coach. To me, it's somebody at the end of the day that I feel bad for. Because instead of the road going like this, the road went like that. Right down over the side. How you doing, Sherry Anna? So a life that was planned of leisure, of 3 o'clock wake-up calls, of 6 p.m. wake-up calls. Good night, Deb. Has gone off the cliff. Now, you may say, okay, when you go off a cliff and you have about 1,000-foot fall below, let's imagine somebody stops you in the truck on the first 100 feet down, freezes the action, puts a microphone in your face and says, how are things so far? So far, so good. 500 feet down. How you doing? Man, it's good. I'm hanging in there. Something very strange happens at the 1,000-foot drop mark. Boom! How you doing, Mudflap? What's up there? That's where we stand today. Smart people will do fine. They will go through as they always do. For many years, we have carried unproductive people in this nation that cannot and will not be productive. That time is coming to an end. What's up, Zoe? How you doing, Sandy? It's like Coach says, bam! Just like that. Just like that. So my best advice would be, while you have a chance to, and before Amazon lays off the 100,000, 150,000 people that they're hiring by August, September, I would be in there trying to grab some of that gravy. I'd be humping. I mean, hell, they're paying $2 more an hour to work in the warehouse because you're risking yourself with corona and everything else, but you're doing a heroic job, right? That's it. You're doing a good job. You're doing a service. Come August, September, they won't have the need for those people. Safeway won't have the need for the people that are working the warehouses pulling food. Kraft Heinz will go off of 3 shifts and go back to a single shift. Things will go back. You got to be strong to survive for the next few years. I'm doing a video tomorrow morning on what the future of YouTube is probably going to look like financially. We should all be thanking people in healthcare. Absolutely, Ann. Thanking people in healthcare, thanking people to keep the freight moving, the Mike Loyals, the other truckers out there that keep things moving. Exactly. Illinois lockdown, that's right. Just think of all the doctors putting their life at jeopardy. Yes, they do. How you doing, Jay? Nebraska is experimenting with sterilizing masks again, if you can believe it. Some nurses have asked for hazmat. They don't want to put their life on the line. Can you blame them? Yeah, that's it, Julie. Canceled the Blue Apron and HelloFresh. Way too much money for what you get. That will be duplicated by September in 10 million households in America, okay? Don't forget about the oil field. Mudflap, I feel real bad about the oil fields. I feel like $5 a barrel is possible. And, because Russia has decided to go to war with Saudi Arabia, and that's the bottom line. Put in a garden. Every little bit helps, exactly. But as far as somebody that bloviates and will claim to you people that the money on YouTube will somehow be greater, is a person that is in an alternative universe with no concept of the machine of business, the way that advertising is undertaken, and the way that advertising and promotional budgets are the first things that are cut when times get tough. Why? Because it's pushing on the string. Nobody has an appetite for a Jaguar. Nobody has an appetite for a speedboat. Nobody has an appetite for a condominium in Vegas. Nobody has an appetite for 5-star dining. Nobody has an appetite for $500 bottles of wine. And less people will have an appetite to support somebody who lives in a van that does nothing, contributes nothing to society. See, what you don't know is that economics is the great leveler of life. Darwinism is the great leveler of life. Once in a while you hit an era where you have that sort of false prosperity like we enjoyed after the 2008 crash. People feel good for a bit. People feel like, okay, I can enjoy the shtick. I can do that. But you see now how fast things become unraveled. Next week there will be 2 million filings for unemployment. In 8 weeks there will be 10 million filings. Okay, in 6 months to 1 year, by the end of the year, there will be perhaps 10 to 15 million people that are unemployed. They will not have an appetite to support laziness, to support sloth, and to support lack of motivation and lack of direction. Nor will cities, nor will counties. The well of compassion will run dry. We will see the folly of liberalism, the folly of no bum left behind, all those kind of things. There have been 500,000 filings here the last week and a half for it. That's right. Just the beginning of the big rollout that we knew it was coming, because we have an economy that's based on services and not producing real things. Well, manufacturing's never as big in an economy as people think it is. But when people remember at the end of the day that services are wants and desires and needs are real things, it's a real stark choice that people make. Can you do without contributing to the upkeep and the maintenance of somebody who will not support and will not work? And worst of all, is incapable of bringing content. short of talking about other people, the content has dried. It's gone. How you doing, Lori? Nice to see you. Yes, Diane, you will definitely get stimulus money, honey. You know why? Because you work. You're productive. If you paid taxes in 2018, 2019, 2020, you're on the books. You will get that check. Your daughter will get a check. But if you're not on the books, we see the folly of how you cheated yourself by choosing to not be a part of the system. And anybody that believes that living in the van somehow exposes them to less risk of infection is living in la la land. Every time you go into a truck stop, every time you open a door, every time you turn a shower handle, every time you go through the drive-thru and pick up your coffee, every time you go to the Dunkin' Donuts, you are the highest risk, and you will be identified as things ramp up and they go exponential and climb up the parabolic curve of infection. You will be seen more and more as part of the problem of why we can't get this under control. You will be ceased in your activities. Guaranteed. How you doing, Jinxie? I don't say that. I had a lot of good times. Okay? I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed doing the work that I did. But I had hoped somewhere along the line in those months that something might strike a chord of achieving, having something to show in life, having something that is not on the razor's edge. It's inevitable within the next year that something major will happen, and there will be the camp, the shelter. Family will be in a bad way. There won't be help there won't be help coming. People that burn the bridges behind them, inevitably, like Napoleon, like King Karl the 12th of Sweden, like Hitler, all those people that tried to invade Russia, all had to make their way back the way they came. And boy, what a bitter trip back it was. Pissed off peasants who had been looted of grain and things were stringing them up on trees, dismembering them, freezing in 20 below zero temperatures. Tough times. Lindsay, I have to believe that retirees will get checks. Yes. I do believe today you said you don't need to shower every day if it's not humid. Well, it's probably true, Mark Dodge. There's probably, if you don't exert yourself, if you just sleep all day and don't do anything, have no ability to bring content or anything productive that anybody would be remotely interested in, you are reduced to one thing and one thing only. Talking about other people on YouTube that do succeed, that achieve success, that are responsible for other people, and have something to show for their lives. Jealous? Of course. Prospects for the future? Zero. It's like the Kevin Costner movie No Way Out said. D-Dub, you will go far on YouTube because you have a very high likability factor. You've had a road, you've had a ways to go, you've had people, you know, you're out there. You're a known quantity in every single way. You care about boosting up people's channels. I've seen you introduce people, boost people. Try to put a smile on people's face. I saw what you did in Las Vegas to Eric and Michelle. With your hospitality for them, Eric the goat guy, people see what you do. The way you bonded with him, I'm a Detroit guy too. You didn't look at his channel as something to be used. You looked at him as a human being that had gone through a really tough time. And you gave him a pat on the back and you lifted his spirits. Have you ever seen the other guy, the elbow, do anything to ever lift anybody's spirits? At any time on YouTube, at any place on YouTube. This guy couldn't even bother to give Missy Jen a Valentine. Much less a Christmas present. So now the chickens come home to roost. The time when we need our fellow human beings the most. And yes, there's some people that are in high cotton right now, truckers, and people like that, but they themselves cannot see the road ahead. They themselves cannot see the cliff that's coming. They themselves think that the future will be grocery stores, that shelves will never be full. They'll be full. They'll be full. And sales will decline. Just like they will at auto dealerships, just they will at RV. The worst thing in the world right now to be is an RV dealer. Well, let me strike that. The worst thing to be in the world right now is a person out there with no skills, no drive, no ambition, and no talent to do anything. That is indeed the worst thing in the world, as we will see. Exactly. It's a PlayStation mentality. It's an inability to grasp the world. It's an inability to feel the earth shifting under your feet. It's an inability to understand how corporations react when their very survival is at stake. You take one of the most well-regarded corporations in America, Boeing Corporation, avionics pioneered the great airplanes, the great liberators, the great bombers of World War II. Innovation. The 747, the 747-800. The train in the sky. Reduced to asking the government for support. Never thought I would see it. Never thought in a million years. But the chickens have come home to roost. These will be days of want, adjustment. People with simple needs, they'll make it through. But I will say right now, if you're retired, you're probably in a pretty good situation. But if you're younger and you refuse to work and refuse to get out there and at least to attempt to support yourself, you will end up in a work camp, a civilian conservation corps, an agricultural adjustment administration, a national roads project. You will be on a make work project. You will have a cricket phone. You will not have internet access. Maybe you will have an hour a week. You'll have your 3 squares a day. And at 6 a.m. in the morning, the shovels will be thrown into your hand every morning. Here you go. Hi ho, hi ho. I'm going to do something I don't know. Do an honest day's work. Put that up on YouTube. Show people that. Patterack is hiring more to make bread. We have disruptions, John. A month ago on February 16th, I advised people, please go stock up now on essentials. Something's coming. This thing could be bad. Real bad. Well, it's been bad enough that it put a torpedo into the economy. Now we're going to have the fallout and deal with that. We have people scrambling in the short run. They're panicking. They have credit cards. They have money in their pocket. What they don't have is supply, but let me tell you, supply is starting to work overtime 3 shifts to put that crap into your hands, okay? It's coming. The profit motive is a wonderful thing. Okay. It's coming. Your stores are going to be filled. The brouhaha is going to be over. Sometime within this year, the virus will mutate and disappear like it did in 1918. You'll have tremendous stories to tell your kids and grandkids. But your shelves will be full. That's right, Liberty. It's draining the swamp. Non-productive people, mooches, sloths. They don't fit in the New World Order, and it could be an ugly order. Compassion may go out the window. It always does. You step up to the registration. Well, I'd like to get some benefits. I'd like a couple $100 on a EBT card. You got any hotel I could stay in or something? It'll be like, son, do you have any skills? What do you mean? Is there anything you can do? Well, I'm a YouTube celebrity. I mean, is there anything you can really do? I know I had an Indian chief here an hour ago, and a cruise ship captain, and a rock singer that had a gold record. What can you do, son? What are you about besides a YouTube celebrity? I don't know. I can sing some Elvis tunes. I know about Class B camper vans. Son, what the hell is that? What's a Class B camper van? Well, it's an RV. RV, son, are you kidding me? You see people around here in RVs? chairs set up and umbrellas and drinking Budweiser beer. Are you kidding me? Son, what can you do? We want to help you, but you need to get with the program. We can't just give people things now. We need you to put your shoulder to the wheel. And you know what? It's going to make a man out of you. And you will rise in the morning and your chest will be puffed out. And one day you will tell your loved ones how you made it through the calamity of 20. Because son, right now, our main job is to instill pride in you and accomplishment. Hoorah! 5 a.m., that garbage can lid. Wake up, girls. Ding, ding, ding. We're cutting that 100-mile fire break 100 yards wide in this Sierras. We're not going to have them crazy fires anymore. And you're the boys to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to eat? You're going to produce. You don't want to eat? Lay in your van till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wait for the non-existent AdSense money to come. The non-existent donations from truckers who are now laid off. Watch the tumbleweed. Enjoy your life, son. I'm having a special video tomorrow in the future, what I see for YouTube. It's not pretty, but it's realistic. The first thing we have to do is get over the disease element. Anybody that lives in a van is at the absolute highest risk because they are unable to stockpile their needs, unable to wash and bathe themselves in a van. It has no toilet facilities, no heater to heat water. Every day for weeks on end, they must subject themselves to public places, to eat, to pick up coffees, to shower, thereby putting themselves at the top risk and serving as vectors for disease. And he burned his bridges. That's right, Janet. But he's the only one that can't see that. But that's what makes going down with the ship so damn interesting. Because of an inability to think beyond today. An inability to manage a world, to think of a world that's not linear and just goes in a straight line, but goes like this. There will be, that is another possibility too. And I did not want to go there, but you mentioned it, Crazy Head, and I will mention, and I will talk about that subject. There is a tremendous risk of evolving brute force on the road. There will be a tremendous decline in law enforcement capabilities. We see YouTube like that. I'm doing a bikini stream. They're like, sorry, we can't have it up. We got nobody to review it. We just have to remove the content. We're not giving you a strike, but it's automated intelligence. Normally there'd be a human. I'm like, okay, fine, you know, but the policing is there. No strike, but it's done. Get the message. We can't mess with this stuff now. A-okay. But there will be people in situations on the streets that will follow people, monitor people, look for opportunities to carjack, vanjack, things like that, because the police presence will not be what it was. And the police aren't going to give a flying F if you get vanjacked or something like that. Your home can be taken away from you. Yeah, Mama, you should never get to anybody on it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because this is a person that built his own house of misery coming up. That's it. And I'm showing screenshots tonight. The story's now to stay in California. Of course it is. Because he thinks California is the land of milk and honey. Maybe it used to be. But this state could be the epicenter of a living hell. You take people in California with a tremendous sense of entitlement, a mentality of liberalism, and watch their compassion start to change. They'll go from, we should all pitch in to help this person. This person was dealt a bad hand in life, incapable of socialization with other people, inability to get along with anybody in life. It's not his fault. It's the way he was raised. Then it'll become, man, do you do anything to take care of yourself? Is there anything you can offer society at this moment? Well, I can sing some Elvis. Compassion will change to anger in a major way. The days of gifting are coming to an end. The days of unquestioned support are coming to an end. The days of YouTube AdSense revenue are coming to a shocking end. I have nothing against Nomadic Fanatic Eric. I've communicated with him. We've Gmailed back and forth. I've sat on panel hangouts with him before. He didn't do live streams. He recently did a live stream. Why? Because he's scared. He knows what's coming because he has the intellectual capacity to see beyond next week. To understand what happened in the nation. And then he needs to connect with people on a personal level. Something he never felt the need to before. He could also off the cliff. When times get tough economically, people want to tune into people that have rock solid information, that have ideas about what's going to happen, no matter how brutal they are, and ideas about how they might make the best of it going forward. The time for frivolous bullshit, and I'm not saying his stuff is frivolous BS, but what I'm saying that the dosing of that will be much smaller. The amount that will be watched is smaller. There'll still be entertainment, great entertainment. But things will change. Things will change. I'm not sure, Judith. Why do you ask me? I don't know. Rosie and Jen encouraged me a while back to get some of the prepper meals, and thank goodness I did because the shelves here are bare. Thank you, Nature Woman. I would prepare to help any of my friends. You know, I would never turn my back on anybody. I always remain hopeful for people. But unfortunately, some people have to be put into the hot forge of life, and they have to be beaten with a hammer to understand humility, to understand that they have nothing really to offer and need to be rebuilt as a human being, and to understand that they don't really matter in the scheme of things. It's a big world out there. Those lessons will be meted out so painfully over the years ahead. It'll be amazing. How you doing, Sugar Cane? What's up? I would be encouraging to people. I would help anybody. I mean, I've had, my messages have been on fire. What should I do about this? What should I do about that? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I know about as much as you do. But hell, I'm a praying person. I know that. RV Road 9 Mads are the first ones to go down. It's just no none like that. Yeah, the party's over. Literally, the party's over. It's like today, watching Kim Kardashian. It doesn't fit the times anymore. You know, it's TMZ. It's like, are you guys kidding? You know, we're being blown out of our jobs, and I have to worry about whether Kylie Jenner had a boob job or not. Are you kidding me? You people are clowns. That's what a lot of things will appear to be on YouTube now. Clowns. People have no sympathy that, just on the road and bringing the content and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, we're starving here. Or we're hurting here, and we're going to support you. Bobby's doing good. There's not the extra. The discretionary money is gone. And even the truckers that are throwing money onto the pile, will they themselves by late summer see their own jobs? Many of them start to disappear as trucks are parked in this nation, as the economy goes stone cold. You will not see car carriers on the road. You will not see fiberglass boats wrapped up going to be delivered. We'll get down to an essential society. They will lose their jobs in great numbers. But you know what? They will work again. They will find employment because they're go-getters. They're the backbone of great people of this nation. They want to work. They want to be productive. You have good common sense will take people a long way. Empty beach in Ocean City, absolutely. Who has an appetite? The governor of Hawaii came out and said, don't come here. 30 days, stay the hell away. Don't come to Hawaii. And what do you think they're doing at the Waikiki Hilton? And they're throwing their hands up. Good God. Better get rid of those workers. The school of hard knocks is the best thing to build a nation on. When times are tough, the dead wood gets cleared out, and we get down to the real foundational, strong stuff to build on. Not this world of phony debt and Federal Reserve fighting to forestall for decades the reality that we're not as productive as we used to be. Yeah, D ain't going to throw in the towel. Are you kidding me? He encourages people to want to know themselves. I've watched this guy. I see how he interacts with other people. I see how he cares. I've seen him take people like Suplex and Cyrax and other people. Not to use them for sport, and then Eric, but with a caring heart about them as individuals. That meant a lot to me. You're fine, Cobra John. You're fine. Work will be the big W will be the future. Now, when unemployment hits 20%, what will people do? That's where the government steps in, right? But they can't keep spending at the frantic rate that they are today, underwriting every municipal bond, underwriting every corporation, taking stock in corporations, and there's a limit. We have to recognize that. So they'll organize mass organizations like they did in the 1930s to bring people together, and almost to a person that went into the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC or the AAA, the Agricultural Adjustment Administration, the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA. Almost to a person, those guys that came out of those camps went off to war and became the greatest generation. They went into those camps. They earned $22 a month. They got fed. They got fresh air, and they became strong. And they came out of that with a good sense of self. What's going to happen to the people with disability? Will they be affected? A society will always take care of its disabled. A righteous society, nature woman, will be judged by the compassion it has for those that are incapable of honestly caring for themselves. These are values these are Western values. These are values of Christianity and Judaism and other things around Buddhism, okay? Grow some food, plant a garden, it's good. Yeah, Bunny said, my daddy said the 30s and 40s were some of the best time ever in this country. Yeah, because people rediscovered they don't need all the crap. They don't need all the fancy trappings of the 1920s and furs and foxtrot festivals. That's why Janet Fields likes the Waltons. For many years, I thought to myself, what is it about that? It's the feel-good factor of family and simplicity that appeals to her. If 10% of Americans do die from this, like they're saying, then there should be plenty of jobs available by fall. No more than 3% of Americans will die. If we flatten the curve, which we're working on doing now, we may contain this thing. If we let, quote, nomads, unquote, drive unfettered around, spreading disease, we may actually realize that nightmarish condition of having over 50% of the American people infected, 150 million people, of which 3% will die, 4.5 million people. What are you talking about, Judith? What are you talking about? Makes sense. Is this crap all for views? What are you talking about? Do you watch the news? Are you living inside of an eggshell? I mean, do you see what's going on in the world? It's like no matter how you try to present facts to people, they'll still defer to the YouTube thing. Is it for views? Are you kidding me? Who in the hell do you think when I put out the notification on February 16th that I was worried about views? I was worried about my friends on YouTube to give them a chance to prepare and say that something real is coming down the pike and you might want to take some steps so you don't have to be in a situation of being out there like's going on now, fighting to get something to eat. That's absolutely right, Bob. 100%. He says, to be fair, your opinion does not necessarily mean your prophecy will happen for sure. 100% agreed. But I do have the right to express my thoughts about what's coming, especially from an economic framework. And I think to myself, I've got free speech, I've got the platform, I've got friends. I will give them a heads up, and I'm damn glad I did. Now I feel like it's incumbent on me, like I said yesterday, you might want to go out now in case we have a national lockdown. Then we'll have the wild scramble again in the supermarkets. You might want to go out now when things are a little calmer and be prepared to shelter yourself for maybe 60 days. I thought that was good advice. But Bob Sacamano is 100% correct. So I'm telling you, Judith, views come no matter what I do. If I want big views, I go out on the streets. I drive. I do chooches. I just feel like as a student of financial history and an acute historian that has a passion for history and an unparalleled knowledge of financial history and the way that people react in these times, should I share that with people and give them a chance to prepare? Knowing what I know about China, knowing what I saw in January occurring, calls that I got from some friends of mine in China and in Hong Kong, they're like, man, you're not going to believe it. You better be prepared over there because this is coming your way. And this is wrecked Chinese society over here. And I'm thinking, well, I don't think he'll be arrested, Bob, but he will end up in a FEMA camp, and he will work and be productive. And when he comes out of that camp, he will stand tall like a man. A real man in deed and not word. He will have pride, he will have a skill, and he will have a sense of accomplishment. I don't want anybody, thank you, Sugar, I don't want anybody to suffer in our community. I know that, Bob, but I'm just saying, I love the people here. I've had the best years of my life on here. There have been so many people here that have had me in their homes and broken bread with me that are wonderful people and communicate with me and tell me how much they enjoy the fun and the laughs. That means something to me. Yeah. I got that Dyna 70. That Dynaco, baby. Yep. So, 38 years ago, that's what I mean. But, Elbow has created his own prison of hell. And that's the bottom line. So the natural reaction is to start flailing around because you're hurt, because you're wounded, because you know your future has been cut off, because you know your channel is in the toilet and going downhill so fast and power diving. That no matter what you tell yourself, you will not be significant. You will not be around. You will be a dot in history of social media that will blow away like the dust of a New Mexico summer. That's a tough thing to swallow. That's a tough thing when the world turns so bitterly that your natural mind goes to a set of denial, that this won't happen, that people will do this, that the money will still flow, there'll be more money for me. It's like a kid at Christmas when he gets his stocking and it's like, is there any more in there? Mom and Dad say, well, Santa Claus had a tough year. We're just going to have to make do. Yep, all happened before and all happened again. But the delusions are going to be phenomenal. The expectations of the future are this way, when in reality they're gone diverging so radically down that way. For most of the people, things will be fine. We will take care of our disabled, our differently abled people. We have a duty to do that. That's what makes a civilized society. They should be at the top, because that speaks volumes about how we are as a people. Use orange peel. I'd like to find you in my Sherry Anna. Oh, brother, that's funny. Just remember what somebody said in the chat earlier. Somebody said their dad said the greatest times of his life were the 30s and 40s. There wasn't a lot out there for people, so they had each other. And they learned simple things in life, and they had strong family values and togetherness and nuclear families, and they didn't have any choice but to get along. Jen is sleeping, honey. I truly believe there are more good people in this world. Of course there are, Bella. There's many more good people in life. That's what I'm hopeful about. That's right. Tammy says, I'll always care for my seniors. That's the kind of person that you are. My World in OKC, that you put them first. You're concerned about them. Yeah, Johners, how you doing? I predict a baby boom in 9 months. It's hard to say. Right booby is gone. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. Would you be concerned the governor called that not only in the 3 years and one of them was your neighbor? No, I wouldn't high watch. I would not. I wouldn't be concerned. I would welcome it. 54 million got the flu, and there's none because, yeah, this year's the worst. This is a different thing, D. This is nice, Janet. This is eerie parallels to 1918, 1917, 1918. It's the same genus of virus from the animals. It's killing young people, which is unusual. Regular influenza rarely does that. And it will mutate. Handcuffed, being taken advantage of. If anybody's going to go to a government facility, it's going to be Elbow. And I just hope I'm there to video it today when they march off with shovels in hand. And the trade-off is, if you want to eat, you work. Yeah, it's not from a bat. It's not from a bat. Yeah, preppers, we're ready. I'm going to grab another beer. I'll be right back. Do, 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 do. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to show the cake. The cake is out of the oven. For those of you who came late, YouTube took me out in stream. Did not get a strike. They just say, sorry, we can't review it. We're just going to, our AI took a shot. It looks like there might be something. But we're not going to give you a strike. We're just going to remove it. We don't have the personnel to review things. I'm like, that's cool. That's all right. I don't care. Signing off. Thank you, Mama. You will be great. For the record, D-Dubs is somebody I'm looking forward to still traveling with very much, checking out things. I'm very lucky in life, at least at this point in time. I feel, I think I started about 8 o'clock, Janet. About 8 o'clock, about that time. It was early. I think next week I'll just do a, I'll have my top on like doing that. I think it'll be fine. So. Oh, I took it. It's no, they already sent everybody notification. They're not. They're not giving strikes right now because they can't review things. I don't think he's coming to the Rancho, Mark Dodge. So, darkness always follows the light. Hang in there. You'll see. Yeah, that's right, Cobra John. Everything always overreacts. But I'm telling you, my roadmap of the future is correct. How do I arrive at that? You have a whole class of college students that are getting out this year. Okay? They're oblivious to what's happened in the world. Why? Because you really don't learn anything in college, do you? It's like a finishing school. Okay? They're not seeing what you and I saw. They haven't been around since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 10s, through the whole era. Every time you think you've seen it all, something new comes along. This to me is on the same scale as 1929 and will probably be more because of the population base that we have today. You got, what, 1 million kids that are going to be getting out of college? Unless they're in the medical field, their French literature degree, their English lit, their underwater basket weaving degree, it's not going to leave them in very good position. Good night, Cobra John. Be well, my friend. They're going to feel very disenchanted. Summer's coming. It's going to be hot. They're going to be irritated they're going to want to blame somebody for what happened. Who screwed it up? Who is responsible for this? How did we ever get in this situation? Could be 8 high watch. I don't know. I'll get into that in a minute if I want. If you want, I did some more work tonight. There might be a revision coming. Okay. These kids are going to be angry. These kids are going to be sitting home. Some measure of these kids are going to get on social media, and Occupy Wall Street will be born again. It might be some in a political science, sociology, the girls that can't get a date, the nerds. I don't know what it is. You know, you see them out there. You know who they are. Okay. They're going to get their black t-shirts on, and they're going to hit the streets. And they're going to start to make a ruckus out there. All right? They want to work. They want jobs. At least the ones, most of them will want a job. Then you'll have the rabble-rousers that join them, the malcontents, the well-placed little communists and socialists that'll be in there to stir the pot. Hey, hey, ho, ho, capitalism's gotta go. Hey, 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 ho. Don't buy a house right now. They will join other people that have gotten a boot from their jobs in the service sector. They will need to do something. So it's inevitable that they will be put into, have a situation where they're able to do make work, like painting art on buildings like the 1930s, digging trenches, building roads, planting trees. There'll be something for them. Inner city, I'm not sure if looting occurred. Johnny Watt, amazingly, when times are tough, people can be amazingly docile. So you can get a great deal on a car. As far as High Watch, I'm not sure if you're still in here or not. You were asking me about Dow 8000. I'll do a little off the cuff. A29 minus A21, 21,000 divided by 29, what are we talking about? 29.5 minus 8 is what, 21? So what you're saying is a 21,000 point Dow drop. 21,000 divided by 29,000 is what? Somebody do the math. Take 21,000 and divide it by 29,000, and what do you get? Somebody must have a calculator out there. 21,000 divided by 29,000. What do you get? 0.72. So what you're saying, High Watch, is at 8,000, you're talking about a 72% stock market decline off the peak. Unprecedented in history, but not out of the question. Because when I did some work after the market closed today, I determined that I use the Elliott wave. I've talked about it before. And that means that we're in an A wave down, which is a corrective wave. I'm not going to get all into it. But that initial wave down is itself broken up into 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a lightning bolt. 5 waves down. It is possible after my work today, high watch today, that we may be next week in wave 3 of 3, the middle part of that first wave down. It is entirely possible that the scenario that you mentioned could occur. It's possible. A week ago, I would have said no way. I would have said no way. But now, having seen the close today, the news flow, and the fact that even in the 29, the disruptions to business were nothing on the extent that they are right now. They're not even in the same neighborhood. It is possible. They haven't been, Bruce. You are correct. They've been on a funny money ride. Yeah, the Trump gains are gone, but it's nothing to cheer about, Janet. We have to consider that now. But I tell you what, we can, Punk. Nice to see you. Good morning to you. There's a level head. Capitalism always survives because it's the only natural order of things. It's built on human needs, wants, and desires. It's a great driver of innovation, apportionment of goods, distribution of things. There's no better system because it's the invisible hands. Nobody has to do anything. Just human beings' wants and desires drive the engine. But high watch, if we hit the level that you talk about, 72%, which is a little more than a Fibonacci number of 68.4 or something like that. What does that say? High watch. What does that say about the state of things when the 1929 was 50%, 48%, and this one is 70-some%? How you doing, Juice? Always there's somebody that want to buy us in. Always have somebody willing to make one. That's a basic. Yeah, well, I think so. High watch is a smart person. Uncle Bernie may very well be at the helm, Johnny Watt. Because if you don't think that we can go through something like this and not have a rise of populism and socialism and communism, you got another thing coming. How you doing, Velveteen? This is the exact fertile ground that those ideologies find their most fruitful, productive times. Pissed off people, young, energetic, displaced people that think of some new world order. We got screwed by the fat cats. Imagine the posters walking around with the faces of these senators that went to an intelligence briefing in January, which I knew about. I'm not going to tell you how through China, but I knew about it. And they sold all their stock. Yeah, I hear you, High Watch. They're going to be perfect poster childs for the rich screwed us again. Good night, Joe Smith. You take care, sweetie. Rest easy. Guaranteed. That's something you can count on. Carve it in stone. Number one, Occupy Wall Street will return. Number two, the search for scapegoats. Who brought us to this point? Who did this? It's all coming. Yeah, many high-level managers. Well, I put up statistics that I followed in January were very disturbing on the Murphy channel. I showed declining production, declining retail sales in November, December. Something was wrong in the system. Capitalism works for everybody, Virginia. But human beings get greedy. If you want to stop civilization cold, have socialism and communism. All innovation done away with. All human advancement because there's no reward. Guaranteed equal misery for all. That's right. You're exactly right. I don't know who said that, but you're friggin' brilliant. Who in the hell was that? There's a name I've not really seen before. Let me get this. Teresa, there you are. The masses will bring anarchy, it will get ugly, but a voice will finally rise up and depending on they could be socialist, communist, or something, or they could be Teresa like they were in the 1930s. Anybody want to put the D word out there? The D word? The D word? Socialists, communists, or the big D? Dictator. Why do you think Hitler rose to power? Why do you think Mussolini rose to power? Oh, let's be nice, Janet. What are we fighting about? What's going on here? Having police responder, scary as hell, yeah. Yeah, the dictator. That's the ultimate one. The guy who stands up and says this is nonsense. This is what we need to do. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's start marching. That's it. That's it, Teresa. You got it. You know. Yeah, things are rough. Democrats. How you doing, Eric? Nice to see you. It's a fakey fire, Eric. We were talking about you earlier tonight, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hunkered down, being safe, in the bosom of your family. That's a great place to be. So therein lies the immediate future. There will be massive hearings in Congress, massive evidence gathering, stories written. There will be books on the shelf of the libraries. Yeah, I was worried about him too, D. I'm glad he made it. Yeah, I can go around and walk around. I can walk around. We don't need to, all we need to see, Joshy Bingham, is the scope of decline and the unrelenting drop. To realize that the very foundations of our world are being rocked. I can't sugarcoat it. I'm worried. Yeah, information overload. Thank you, Eric. I'm worried. And I would rather err on the side of caution. Decline is a fact of life, but not on the magnitude that we're experiencing now, Joshy. 35% and growing. A whole service sector stripped out in a matter of days. Unprecedented. Here you go, Honey Badger. How you doing? Yes, this will rank high. I think that's ultimately what it will be too, also, Teresa. In point of fact, Franklin Roosevelt was about as close as we would get to that. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. But we had a president in Roosevelt that said and demanded in his inauguration speech of March of 1933 under a cold, drizzly sky in Washington, D.C., with the Army having guns and cannons to protect in case of revolution, because banks were failing at an alarming rate as he spoke. He said, I want the powers as if we are fighting a war. And they gave it to him. Judith, I'm not sure what that means. Why do you let elbow make this stuff worse than it is? What stuff do you mean? Let's see. Sincerely, do not compare this to 1920 in America. 65% service built. Shocking amenities are laying off. Oh, wait, not really. Joshy Bingham, the bottom line is a services are wants. They're not needs. Even Bloomberg, a week after I first broached the topic of the implosion of the service sector, has now said that the service sector is shedding jobs at an unprecedented rate. Wealth has been destroyed on a magnitude that has few parallels in history. What is the appetite for travel, for cruises, for hotels, for beach holidays, for Vegas $800 bottle service at Taj, at Venetian? It literally dried up. America's a service country, and we see the inherent weaknesses of a service-based economy. Do I expect a rebound? I expect a trading rebound, of course. I had originally thought 15 to 16,000 on the down. Now I've got to lower my sights. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Thank you, Eric. There's a video on a guy who bought a new Prevost bus in the morning, and by the time he got it paid, he paid for the money he would have lost in this, paid for the bus. That's pretty cool, I watched. It's pretty cool. Service is necessary. Starbucks coffee's not necessary. Flower shops aren't necessary. Hairdressers aren't necessary. Right? Hoteling, hospitality, vacations, cruises, they're not necessary. Travel, entertainment. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised how much services you can do without. And that's what we're going to find out. Darcy says a 10,000 point rebound by July 4th. It'll be a big one. It'll be a big one, Joshy, but it will be a false dawn. And by fall, we will be turning down again. That's right. Food, water, clothing, housing, groceries, production of goods, services. Good night, Dee. Cruises are necessary. I have stocked in Royal Caribbean. Well, punk. At least you're young. That's all I can say. You're young. That's the good news. You're a young guy. Yeah. Craig's like, I'll sleep as well as Georgie tonight. Yeah. I played penny poker tonight with 6 other people. Risky behavior. That's funny, Lindsay. We need to be optimistic because this is a country of great resources, of great stored educational things. But we need to get to a stronger foundation to move forward. Punk gonna be punked a while. Yeah, I mean, it's like Punk will be all right. He'll be all right. Cruises should be outlawed. Well, I think the appetite for cruises just got crushed, right? Hey, how you doing, Tribe? I believe last time I saw Carnival Cruise Line was something around the order of $6 or $7, something like that. So I don't know. Carnival offering ships as hospital. That's a good thing to do. They'll earn revenue. It's going to be a good time to buy them. When did you come? They come back. What's that, Eric? Are you going to shotgun that beer for America? I like Joshy Bingham's spirit. I have the same spirit as he does. But I suspect Joshy Bingham's educational attributes are more of a technical, scientific basis, whereas I am more about history and psychology and people's reactions in economic events. Kenny Rogers died, huh? You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. What's up, Rory? Did Kenny really die? The big sell-off players already started buying back in. Well, I think they were early, GM. Looking forward to seeing that wonderful cake. Yeah. Okay, he died. It's a shame. Yeah, don't resent your government career or super serial. How you doing, Gypsy? Thank you. Thank you, honey. 10:30 p.m. Well, God rest to your soul, Kenny. You gave a lot of good tunes. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. I made the good times, didn't through. Well, it's based on human physiology, but I will disagree, Joshy Bingham. I will lay out my hypothesis for you. That the whole crux of this has less to do with human physiology and more to do with the borrowing capacity of the United States government as a going concern. Now, what do I mean by that, my friend? I mean, when you stand up to underwrite every municipal bond, every corporate bond, every collateralized mortgage obligation, every student loan, every bit of $2 trillion federal deficit, there comes a point where the capital markets can literally not suck down and eat that amount of debt without a catastrophic response to it. I put it to you, Joshy Bingham, that the issue is not infection, the issue is not disease, although it may have been the trigger and the pin that pricked the balloon and the agent that kicked off the first domino. The reality will be testing the limits of how much a sovereign government can borrow. At what point does that cross the credulity of the human mind? At what point does the rest of the world kick back and say, oh, hell no? That's the issue that's driving the stock market down. The realization that interest rates could rise dramatically. The year the Cubs won, yeah. I'm not going to be president, but you got to look behind the obvious. You've got to look at the result. You've got to look at the consequence of that behavior. It just becomes, Joshy says, so an underlying lack of faith in the power of the dollar, the Fed interest rate, or our ability to pay default. It's how much, Joshy Bingham, can we socialize loss? How much can we diffuse and underwrite that? We became a society over the last 50 years, financially speaking, that individuals got rewarded. We individualized profits and we socialized losses. In other words, if Apple had a great year and made $4 billion of profit, we didn't up the taxation on Apple, did we? When Boeing was making $2 billion of profit, we didn't go to Boeing and say, there may be a rainy day. We want to extract something for a rainy day fund from you guys. They kept all the profits. They did stock buybacks. To enhance shareholder value. Now what happens? Boeing comes forward and says, without socializing our losses, we're not going to be a going concern. Privatizing profits, socializing losses. This is my concern. How much will we underwrite? Every student loan? Every municipal bond? Normal financially thinking people in China and other places say, whoa. Something just doesn't, this ain't right. Rest in peace, Barbara Stanwyck. That's my contention, Joshy Bingham. It's not the physiology of disease. It's the reaction to it and the effect that it has on things. Sugar cane. But you're ready to cash in on the stocks. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means, Judith. We're supposed to be. Suppose people like me weren't around, Judith, that had the guts of a cat burglar to step into the midst of a market that's in free fall and put a buy order in. If you did that in real life, just like when I bought the Rancho, people looked at me like I was crazy in 2011. Are you nuts? This thing's gone down to $50,000. And I'm like on Trading Places, the movie. Buy, buy, buy. Without me and people like me, Judith, there is no bottom. Without people with the guts to go in there and start soaking up some of this stuff, there is no bottom. I'm patriotic, okay? I'm doing my duty. If I get rewarded for my gutsiness, that's a good thing. That's a normal part of capitalism, right? There you go, Craig. Craig, you're a wonderful person. You got it all. You have a heart of gold. What's your favorite type of bagel? Blueberry. I want a blueberry. Blueberry bagel. That's what I want. Yeah, bye-bye, Miss. Remember, people don't stock on ramen where you end up using all your toilet paper. There you go, black sheep. And wouldn't be overwriting debt considered a default? Of course it is. It's all a technical default right now. Do you understand the ripple effects? You tell students you don't have to pay your loans for the next 3 months. Well, whoever, Sally Mae or whoever holds the obligations, the Student Loan Marketing Association. Now what are they to do? Tell the pensioners? There you go, Joshy. What are they supposed to do? Tell the pensioners to don't get your pensions for 3 months? You can understand the domino effect of thing. The Elliott wave theory is the absolute only thing that works in the market in terms of predictive ability. Why is that the case, Melissa? Because it's built on human psychology and human action and motivations. Two simple premises, two poles. People are greedy at market tops, and they're panicky at market. They're fearful at bottoms. And all that the Elliott wave does is measure with a wave formation where we stand in terms of greed versus fear. It's absolutely beautiful. How does this compare to 2008? 2008 was the Sunday school picnic mega triumph. We built this city, I like Kenny, he was pretty cool. Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. And we rely on each other. From one good night, Nisi. One lover to another. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Remember that on Seinfeld? Your Pepsi stock went down over $13 a share today. Super Cereal, what's the price of Pepsi Cola right now? Because they have the Frito-Lay. Give me the price of Pepsi Cola today. What is it? Good morning, Beryl. Yeah, the rotisserie chicken. That was funny as hell. That was right up. Yeah, it was good. Kenny Rogers Roasters was good. It was good. Most of the debt was bought by the Chinese, but it does not mean that they must continue to buy it, right, Lane? Especially basically 1% interest. Right. Not a very appetizing fortune cookie for... It's like, oh, hell no. Somebody give me a quote on Pepsi Cola. PEP. Somebody give me a quote. Hey, there you go, Teresa. The sun is shining in Yorkshire. Isn't that beautiful, Beryl? Isn't that beautiful? 103.93 a share. What was the high? Does anybody know what the 52-week high or the all-time high was on that? There you go. Mega says, I know the future. What was the all-time high? 160, something like that for PepsiCo. You gotta know when to hold. Know when to fold. 147.20. So that's pretty damn good. You know, Pepsi's going to be a survivor. Okay. Pepsi will be a survivor. Okay. Simple food, relatively cheap. Okay. The price of soda will come down, but they'll be a survivor. I'm like Ron Popeil. Yes, you are. Slice it and dice it. Set it and forget it. Remember that? You're my lady. You're my knight in shining armor. And I love you. Dude, set it and forget it. That's it. Remember the Vegematic? How many people cut their skin off their fingers? I love that. Please buy my stock in my nipple ring business. That's it, crazy head. Yeah. That's it. Pepsi will be fine. Coca-Cola will endure. Procter & Gamble will do fine. Johnson & Johnson. Pocket Fisherman by Popeil. There you go. How about the Chia Pet? Chia. There you go, Juice. Chia. Ah, 147.20. Thank you. Good night, Sugar Cane. Love you. I love that schlocky stuff. I love that. Winning 52. It was down to 45, I think, right lane. Now, I did sit in on I did listen to, yesterday Trump had a conference with the governors of the states, and the governor of Nevada was on, and he's like something on the order of 256,000 people are employed in the entertainment, hospitality, gaming, hoteling of Las Vegas. And I think the president agreed to probably bolster them up a bit. So it probably helps a little bit in the short term. But over the long term, I would be very negative on Wynn, except for their Macau properties. Puke and Gag, what we call P&G in Cincinnati. Lindsay, P&G is a great company. Okay, one of the greatest, the bluest of the blue chips. Did you put out the lights? Tomorrow, Gypsy, I'm putting the lights up. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucy. Mara's acting counterproductive. Procter & Gamble, one of the great American companies. 3M, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Kraft Heinz. Some of the greatest names. Right. ConAgra. Some of the greatest names. Love Procter & Gamble. Hey, Big Bear. PG Cincinnati Chili. What the hell is Cincinnati Chili, Cupcake? Right? Do I need to watch your video? J&J, yes. I don't know where where Doritos live. Yeah, that's cool. Lindsay says she makes her own laundry soap. It'd be nice. A lot of people are going to cook. Do you know that something that startled me at the end of 2019? That 60% of meals were now eaten outside of the home? Do you know that 60%? Okay, that's a society that's indulging in services, okay? 60%. Clint, how you doing? 60%. And I remember I thought to myself, how in the hell did we ever get to that point? So I'm thinking to myself, there's a problem. People got to start making their meals at home. Clyde Barrow worked for P&G back in the day. Hey, Big Bear, I'm old school. I cook. Good for you, Nocturnal. There's something very nice about cooking for yourself. Teresa said, I believe it. Millennials have more of it. So they had Cincinnati chili. Good night, Dab. Making Skyliner. It's like a sauce for spaghetti. So good. Why do they have sports on the news? Horse racing continues, Janet. This is why we have an obesity issue. Exactly. Thank you, William. The horses are approaching the starting gate for today's third race. An exacta race featuring a purse of $5,900. Post time is in 10 minutes. Rosie, I believe in an alternate you was. No, I don't think so, Opiami. I don't think so. I don't think I was nothing. Nothing. Let's just say, Opiami, let's just say I'm an acute student of human nature. I love following human nature, particularly in a financial sphere. Hello, Tom. I used to go to dog races in Florida. That's pretty cool. The Kentucky Derby. Yeah. What about the Preakness, Janet? The middle jewel of the Triple Crown. The Mile and the 16th. Bet most coffee was bought on the road. I believe so too, Super Cereal. I believe so too. Coffee shops faded out. Chock full of nuts had a whole thing in New York City. Cincinnati chili, the one they serve over spaghetti. I don't know. I think I'm going to have spaghetti tomorrow. Preakness in September, maybe. Well, the Kentucky Derby is at Churchill Downs. The Preakness is at Pimlico, and the Belmont is at the Belmont Park. So. Too many fat people in this country, bad for so many reasons. I agree, Virginia. I agree. Yeah, did you hear that snickerdoodle? You picked a fine time to leave me, Kenny Rogers. Ooh, I had your record on the record player today. Good night, Dave. All sports may be canceled for 20. There's another service sector. That's another huge service sector that will never be the same again. Touch this 50T week low at 228.80. Yeah. I may have to modify my target to the 10,000 level, unfortunately. So, Merck closed up. Yes, Merck closed up because. They are a healthcare and a proprietary ethical drug producer. So, the one that surprised me hasn't done better is 3M because but all their shit's made in China. Who else has been doing good is Clorox been going through the roof, right? CLX. The old Merck Doman. Yeah, Cincinnati chili sounds really kind of weird. It's like cupcake. What did Shay used to make? It sounded like a car racer. What the hell was that called? With the Johnny Marzetti or something? Uh, Clorox is making wipes. Cupcake, was that something called Johnny Marzetti? Something that was big in Oakland? Brewed a coffee, then he bought coffee. Oh, that's interesting. I have a good feeling more to the story than just. Of course, there is Big Bear. The real story is behind the headlines. The real story is the financial viability of unlimited debt issuance. That's the thing. You know, you cannot feather bed people forever. Set up a moonshine still. I got so much white dog here that's 180 proof. It's funny. Wow, you really think that Apple will go bankrupt along with Boeing? Apple has no appreciable debt, do they, Highwatch? And Boeing will not be allowed to fail, nor will Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, because they're so essential to military things. Cincinnati, Mark Twain supposedly it was the end of the world. Go to Cincinnati because everything happens 20 years later there. Okay, Johnny Marzetti's just pasta and sauce and veggies. It's, pardon me, cupcake. It looks pretty damn gross. You know, I don't know if. I'd have to look at this. I'd have to look at the balance sheet on Apple. If I will YouTube, no, YouTube will not go under. They will radically downsize the platform, I believe, and be much more stringent. Apple, because the customer's also going to wipe down the world. It's been evaporated. I can see some scale down high watch. I'm not sure. Telecommunications is in one of those like areas where somebody might sell their mother to get an iPhone. Yeah, leisure travel's not coming back for years. All the condominiums on the beach, all the hotels, and it's I would agree with that. But I'm not quite sure about Apple. I have some confidence that Apple may be the kind of corporation to turn out some products that may delight us in tough times and things. So we'll see. Would you buy the ETF or the call? Buy the ETF. Do not get involved with call options, right, Lane? Okay. How about them Dodgers? Don't be involved in the derivative product. Get the actual ETF. The actual Brandy, my girl, how you doing? When the time comes, if you want to take one of the leveraged, triple leveraged ETFs, I don't know what they are. You could triple that up. Hey, left a like but passed by. Okay, thank you, honey. Celeste never stays around for my chats. She'll hang hours and. Only kidding, Celeste. You take care, honey. Be safe out there. Apple can't go. Too many apples. It's just, yeah. I don't think I'm going to fans about a trip to Disney. Yeah, sugar cane. I think, I believe that Apple will bring some interesting products out. Big Bear says, now's the time if anyone has a few spare coins to invest. We need the momentum to break first, Big Bear. And what we need to do, we need to hit a hard bottom. And today, you should be happy. The volume finally started to rise. There was very heavy volume. That's what we need. We need the final capitulation to toss out the stock and get it into super strong hands. Okay. We've not reached that point yet. We need to make a bottom, then 2 or 3 days later come back and test it. At that point, I'll be a buyer. Yes, it has to crash before we rebuild. We've not reached that point of maximum capitulation. The volume started rising today. The news headlines will probably be horrendous over the weekend, which will, in effect, Monday give us our Black Monday. That'll be it. That's all I'm saying. I'm nobody special, Big Bear, but that's my philosophy on it. I could be very wrong. How can we get a 2 break? Yeah, it's nice to have a 2 break. I'm gonna be putting up lights tomorrow, Christmas lights. That's gonna be good. It's going to be fun to put up some Christmas lights. Tomorrow I'll show you the cake. I'm going to let it cool overnight. YouTube did take the stream down. They don't give strikes now. They just say we can't review it. We're just taking it down. People say it was not flagged. It was automatically by their bots checked. They automatically check all adult content. YouTube itself said our automated system has removed this, and you don't get a strike, but you can appeal it. We just don't have people to review it right now, which is sensible. Yeah, they should put the back up. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So there was nothing on it. Have a good night, Sherry Anna. Yeah. So it's what we're in. It's just the automated systems now. I mean, they're at least they're honest about that. So when I leave here, I'm going to Hershey Park. I don't know when you leave here in what sense. In the next life, sugarcane, next week, or what? You scared me, man. Come on, sugarcane. Tell me. Good night, Lindsay. Thanks for being on tonight, honey. I want Hershey candy. Yeah. Sound like code. I only had a sandwich, some pumpernickel, Roner Park. Going into the roof of your mouth. Price gougers should be locked up. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. For hungry. Yeah, Sugar's visiting. He's driving Cadillacs in his dreams. Oh, that's fine. I don't care, Janet. It's he doesn't dare burn a drop of gas. It's too fearful. There's no money. Now it's all about he'll trust me. He won't be going back to Chicago. Okay, he'll be a hanger-oner in California forever. Okay. Oh, that's it. Yeah. You could see the fear factor. Don't worry about it, Big Bear. Life goes on. You know what, Big Bear? Karma has a way of giving back exponentially. Okay, doesn't mean it happens the next day. Might not happen for a month. Might not happen for 3 years. But when it happens, the payback is of a magnitude and an extent that just floors the person. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you believe in karma, which I'm not, I don't wish ill will on anybody, but it's a fact of life. I'm going to hang out with Insane Chef. Yeah. He said he'll never mention. There's nobody will watch him unless he puts me into his, me or D in. Nobody will watch him. Do you think they care to hear him talk about the economics or pathology and virology and stuff? The guy's like talking to Jethro Bodine. of the Beverly Hillbillies is going to tell you about life. If he hurries to get a job, he'll get a stimulus check. Good luck. Yeah, it sounds good in a resume. Law of return equals MC. Yeah. Been passing kidney stones for 3 years now, Juice. Ain't that it? You got to go back and watch season 1, episode 3, The Feud, when Granny finds out that her family's been feuding with Drysdale's family back in Bonaparte, Tennessee. That's what I mean. You don't have to do anything now except sit back in your easy chair, watch the show unfold, and then what's going to happen one day? It's going to be gone. Okay, it'll be gone. There won't be any updates. There won't be anything. It will be the official end of the show. Jelly and jam packs. There you go. I'm driving Cadillacs in my dreams. Yeah, today when I woke up, I was eager for a McCafe review. It will pass, Big Bear, exactly. Life will go on. People will be happy. I'm gonna grab myself a sandwich. I'm hungry. I didn't really eat much tonight. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 400 children and a crop in the field. I had some good times, lived through some bad times. You picked a fine time to leave me. Nice deli sliced ham. Yeah. Oh, wow. TNR, was that your love? Wow, how terrible. $1,000 a month. The only stimulus on that $1,000 a month to take that boy into a rodeo ring, let him come out with the horses in hog time. Get boy, run. Get to rope him. Christmas lights in the box. What are you talking about, Joey? Where in the hell are the Christmas lights in the box, huh? I'm hungry. I only had a sandwich on some thin pumpernickel. Ask him, Judith. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hanging up Christmas lights. He's over there at the window at the fast food every day. You believe that? Chipotle and mustard. Shit, I'm going to have lights back here. I'm going to have the whole shebang. I'm going to put up a hell of a lot of Christmas lights tomorrow. Get the spirit. Clint, it's something that they're doing here in the nation to try to lift people's spirits a little bit. And I like that. Any excuse for me to get lights out, I think is great. Yeah, thank you, Bounty Hunter. There was nothing wrong with the stream. It's just that the bots are going to be in there, and it's like nobody flagged it. Gonna look fun. Crazy Head, are you kidding? Hallmark's running Christmas movies now? Wow. Amazing. It's like the Night of the Living Dead around here. A lava lamp. Is that the one where the thing bubbles up in the bottom of it? Is that it? Teresa, if I was to do that, Teresa said I'm painting rocks and putting them in a basket on the edge of my property so dog walkers and walkers can pick up a rock to cheer up. Teresa, you know what they would do here if I had a box of rocks out front? Right through the front window. That's what we need to do, Cupcake. We need to lift spirits. And I'm going to watch A Christmas Carol. It's a really good idea. The radio poltergeist was cool. Wasn't that weird, Opiami? I'm just sitting here and all of a sudden the radio just turns itself on. You guys should stay home as much as you can. Steam your mail when it comes in. Turn your kettle on. Get some steam. Steam it real good. Coronavirus hates heat and humidity. Steam it. Have your gloves on when you grab it. Then when you're done, wash your hands really thoroughly. Got to be careful you don't have any metal in it or anything like that. You got to understand your heat setting. I think we'll put one in. We wanted to wait 1 year, Clint, to let the ground replenish here. Our planter boxes, we've used them year after year. We let them rest for 1 year. Yeah, Wonderful Life is good. Yeah, gods must be crazy. I love that. When the Coke bottle fell out of the plane. I think it's good. All you guys should put some lights on. Try not to be around people at all. Yeah, I think so, Chef. Yeah, I had tomatoes many years, Cupcake. We used to do 100 pounds of tomatoes. I would put up 5 gallons of red sauce. Old movies are great. It's like Tribe went off the reservation again. I don't know, Bounty. I didn't know they took the stream down midstream. They're like, don't worry, this is not a strike. We need to remove this because we can't review it. Like, what the hell? Then they're like, we'll review it in a while and then we might put it back up. I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Very good, William Wallace. It's just the way YouTube is. They don't have enough personnel around. So please don't eat the daisies. I remember that. I sure do. And I know Alfred Hitchcock loved blondes. Tippi Hedren. Who was that coup? Kim Novak and Doris Day, the man who knew too much with Doris Day and Jimmy Stewart. Wouldn't surprise me, Tribe. Yours, mine, and ours. Henry Fonda, Lucille Ball. Wow. Cupcake, you're a trip. I mean, the Sugar King. Yeah, Kim Novak and Vertigo, yeah. I'd like a lot of you guys to put up some lights tomorrow. Even one string. Let's put up some lights, you know? Del Taco. Yeah. I was baking. I went to check on the cake. I turned around and it said a message from YouTube. The first thing is, don't worry. This is not a strike. This video has been removed midstream because YouTube does not have the ability to manually remove this. Sometime over the next hours or days, it will be manually reviewed, and at such time as it does not violate, it will be replaced on. I'm like, okay. yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think maybe this weekend I'll bake some Christmas cookies. What the hell? Why the hell not? Yeah, punks like shit. Everyone put up a Christmas tree with Easter eggs hidden in it. That's cool. That's cool. I like the way punks mind works. Yeah, Tippy's still going strong. Oh my God. Yeah, it was a baking video. I was in midstream and I got a message from YouTube. It's like, don't worry, there's not a strike. We had to remove this video because we can't review it. It's like our automated system. It's like, we'll have somebody review it, but it might take hours or days. Don't worry. You're not receiving a strike, and we'll leave it the fuck alone then. Excuse me. Well, they sent a message a couple weeks ago. Excuse me. All creators got a message. Due to the coronavirus, there's more. Oh, excuse me. There's more people working from home, so we don't have the ability. Ooh. Oh, I hate hiccups. Anyway, you get the idea, okay? I don't have to. They just it was automated intelligence took it down. I hate hiccups. I think one time I had hiccups for about a month. EST. Yeah, I ate it too fast. I was hungry. I only had a small piece of pumpernickel with some of that on it. Ooh. I'm like, hey, thank you, Rescue Pits. I'm like, don't take my video down. I didn't even finish the baking the thing. Now it's already back up. What a waste. I don't know. Don't puke. I'm an O type blood. Right. They said O type is more resistant to coronavirus than A type. So you slap that. I think they're gone now. Missy Jen, could you give me a Heimlich? Yeah, here you go. Give me a Heimlich. Give me a Heimlich. There you go. Yeah, I'm O negative too, Jessica. I'm a universal donor. So make some monkey bread. Basket drink glass with sip and turn, then sip again until the hiccups stop. That's pretty interesting, Mega Triumph. Pretty it's not what my buddy he said. I don't know. Well, I donated blood for a long time until they just couldn't find the veins, and I went in one time. They took 3 shots at one arm, and then he's like, "Oh, do you mind if we try the other arm?" I'm like, "Okay." And you know, the big boss came over. He couldn't succeed. There was 4 times, and then they tried a 5th time, and I'm like, just forget it. Okay, I'm not going to be a pincushion here. That was painful as shit. I like to give blood. I like to do my part. Yeah, they love us. I don't have big juicy veins. I got like small ones. They do love us in there. I love Jimmy Stewart. He was my favorite actor. No, just let's all remain calm here. We can solve this situation. Right? Now, old man Potter, he's going to be a problem. I don't mind needles. Yeah, the veins. They should have used these. They have these blue light, this vein thing now. They can find it very easily, right? But before it was just poke and tickle, and I was so pissed off. I'm like, this is so painful. We're gonna try it again. Shit. I like to give blood. I like to do that. So there's something, the O type gives you a little more protection. So it's weird. Don't ask me why. I guess the virus doesn't bind as easily to it. I don't know. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. I had a vein pop once. That's ugly. That's ugly. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucia. I mean, internet rumor for all I Yeah, amino acids with the planet greatest show. A good movie. Played a guy on the run as a clown. I liked him in The Gambler. Was pretty good. I thought he was a really good looking guy. I don't know why he got all the facelift stuff done. I just, same as Mickey Rourke. You'd like to see that Asylum again. That'd be pretty cool, Clint. Tomorrow night I will be out chooching, by the way, on the streets. He's hat full of brain, Sinatra. Yeah, Sinatra. Yeah, I will be out tomorrow evening. I'm not going to be touching anything. I will probably be bringing my own beer with me. Yeah, he was a good-looking guy. Mickey Rourke was great. Yeah, The Man with the Golden Arm was good. That's about the only movie I ever liked Frank Sinatra, and I didn't like him in From Here to Eternity. Where are you going to be? I'm going to be in Santa Rosa. We're going to get the feel of the streets, or I may drive down to Petaluma. Everything will be closed, but Janet, what people want to see what life is like under a lockdown. So, and Michael Jackson died. 76 trombone. Do, 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 do. I think that was from Music Man, right, Bruce? Elvis said he dares you what? Hey, man, you're out in a van driving. You're more of a vector of going into truck stops and stuff. You're more of a disease spreader. Get rid of that gups. What a freak show he's become. It's not a lockdown when you're driving around, so I'll just put my press thing on and go out there and do it. Please don't go out on the Shine Shack. Just go out to the Shine Shack, drink some Bounty Hunter. I'm not touching anything. I'm not going to be. There's no bars, no restaurants, no nothing. Okay, it's just going to be street chooching. You're allowed to have a walk. He kept saying over and over, "You would kill Missy Jen." He's an idiot. He's going to kill 50 people with his in and out of truck stops and all that kind of stuff. So, if I were a rich man, do 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 do. If he cared about Missy Jen, he would have gotten her a little something as a thank you. He never did. Judy Garland is dead. Next, you're going to tell me Doris Day's passed on. Yeah, breathe through your nose. Use Purell. Punk, I'm not going to go near anybody. I've kept such a good social distance. I'm not going to be touching doorknobs. I'm not going to be going into bars, sitting down. I'm just doing a street walk. I'm going to take a couple beers in my pockets. And yeah. I got to get out. Why are they digging up dead people? Now you're scaring me, Golden. Now you're scaring me. Elvis said sorry behind the scenes. I don't know what you're talking about, SC. You confuse me with that. Yeah, beers are helpful. I imagine you can, Cheryl. I imagine you can. Heine lick. They keep talking about people who, okay, all right. I thought you were going to say, because I saw a documentary about the Spanish flu of 1918, and in the early 1950s, there was a professor who was trying to get there was a guy who was trying to get his PhD in virology, studies of not virus, but influenzas and things like that. And he had an idea that if he could recover a body that died in 1918 in the flu pandemic in relatively good shape, that he may be able to sequence the genetic structure of the influenza. And it turns out that was 13,000 pieces that had to be put together. It took 10 years. But he had an idea to go up to an Eskimo reservation on the North Pole where they lost half their village. And they buried bodies and they were in the permafrost, so they were perfectly preserved. And he dug them up and took some of the tissues and things, but it wasn't quite good enough to use. And he kind of called it a failure until like in the 80s, they redid it again at the Defense Institute labs. And he contacted them and said, yeah, I know where fresh bodies are. I was up there. And they're like, yeah, go get him. And he pulled out a perfect lung of a heavyweight Eskimo woman, which was very rare, perfectly preserved. And they were able to take that and extract the material to be able to sequence that virus. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, the second time was the charm. Did you see that Star Walker Blue? Pretty interesting. Pretty damn interesting. Yeah, they told me that too, thrifting. Like, don't you drink water and stuff? And I'm like, I'm trying to. Saying around on fucking prank, dude. I don't want a cereal. I don't have any interest in hanging. There's nothing to be gained. They clone that stuff. Yeah, so there's some very interesting documentaries on and taught professional how the virus spread. That's pretty cool. Corrupted blood incident, huh? You had to convince the village elders 2 times, and it was very, very interesting. Very good. Go watch the. I can't remember what it was called. Star Walker Blue. There were a couple of them. But this guy had an idea. If he could find a perfectly preserved body, it may be useful for research. Good thinking. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to be doing Christmas lights tomorrow. So I want to thank you so much for tonight. I'm sorry about the stream earlier. Nobody flagged the stream. It was YouTube sent a notification a week ago due to coronavirus. We're unable to manually review on the fly videos. So if our system detects something, we will temporarily take it offline, and then you don't have to appeal it. It'll just automatically come back again. You don't get a strike, so it is there. But tomorrow morning, I'll be sitting here having a stream. We'll be having that coffee cake. Yeah, it's running now. So thank you for automated intelligence, YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night, Golden State. Good to see you, Bounty Hunter. Thank you, Super Cereal. You're a very interesting person, Teresa too. So yeah, maybe I should put. Yeah, Bruce, you're a genius. I'm gonna get my elf thing on tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna spread some cheer. Random Trucker, how you doing? How you doing? Y'all take care and have a wonderful night. Okay.